So in this quick tip, I just want to take a little look at a basic path, basic shape, and explain why sometimes it's better to have less anchor points rather than more, and also how you can reduce the number of anchor points and smooth out something like a line like this. So if we look at this line, you can see it's a very jumpy line. It's not at all smooth. I wanted a real nice smooth curve, but this one certainly isn't. And the reason for that, when you actually select it with the white arrow there, just have a look at the anchor points on there. The reason for that is there's a lot of anchor points in there. You know, it's pretty busy. There's I'm going to hazard a guess at maybe 30, 40, maybe even more anchor points on there. And that's part of the reason why this line is looking so bitty and so jumpy. Now, if you wanted that to be a nice smooth curve, really, ideally what you do is you do it with just a couple of anchor points, one on each end, and that would give you a beautiful smooth curve. Because remember, you can control the angle of these paths in between the anchor points, which if you've got a lot of anchor points, you end up with this kind of jumpy effect. If you only have a couple, you can make it smoother. So this is the reason why on a lot of stuff, you will want, ideally, less anchor points rather than more. You would kind of naturally assume more anchor points gives you more control and more detail. And it does to a degree, but it also makes it harder sometimes to get these real nice smooth curves. By having less anchor points, you can often get a much nicer, smoother result. Having said that, if you're in this position where you've already got the line and you simply want to smooth it out, there is a way to do that. And the way to do it is grab the white arrow, select the path in question like this, and in the Objects menu, you are able to go down to the Path option here, and you can simplify the path. And if you go into Simplify there, you'll see straight away it's lost some of these anchor points. If I just click on the three little dots there on the newer versions, it then lets me see the full details here. And what I can do is I can simplify the curve and drag that out or back. So now I've dragged it back, it's definitely reducing the number of anchor points there. And the threshold at which it recognizes these as a proper anchor point that needs to be kept versus one that can be lost can be controlled using this slider here. So again, I can drag that back or drag it right out. Now, in this case, the angle on that is a bit too much, but if you drag it around, it will generally allow you to reduce this a little bit as well. If you don't want to do this manually, have a go Auto Simplify. And if you're happy with that, great. If you'd like to take it a bit further, you can do, or bring it back a little bit. That's absolutely fine. And when you're done, click OK. And you've then got your new shape with far, far less anchor points on there than the original. Now, if I just undo that a second, because I want to show you one more thing. Bear in mind with this, you don't have to simplify the whole path. And what you could do is you could go in here and select part of it, for example. So in this case, I've selected the right-hand part of it. And again, I'm doing that with the white arrow up here. And then go to Object, Path, Simplify. And on this one, I'm able to drag this around and simplify just one side of it. So I've now got a curve which is pretty bitty over here, but then starts to get far smoother on this side. And the reason is I've simplified it. So over here, you've got 20 or so anchor points. And then for that second half of the path, you've only got 3. And it makes the whole thing far, far smoother and far simpler. So a couple little tricks there on simplifying it and why sometimes you may well want less anchor points rather than more to make your life easier.